Violence against women in 2001 was incredibly high. With much of this going unreported, victims left to suffer in silence, sadly much like today. There is a scene in Silent Hill 2 that directly depicts such violence against a woman called Angela.
Okay, Angela. It's okay. Calm down.
Don't order me around!
But what if I told you that this scene reveals more about the protagonist, James? That this scene in particular is even darker when we consider his full story. It has a lot more to say beneath the surface, so let's get into it. First of all, who is Angela? Angela is a young woman James meets in the cemetery outside Silent Hill. She is spooked by him and then explains that she's looking for her mother.
Excuse me.
I'm sorry. I was just...
Hey, it's okay. I didn't mean to scare you. I'm kind of lost.
Lost?
At this point, Angela seems open, almost friendly, despite being caught off guard. They are both looking for someone and know the town is dangerous. Perhaps we think they can be friends. Later, Angela returns in a very different kind of scene. This one completely changes our view on Angela. We find her lying on the floor in a room with a mirror. Most of their conversation plays out in reflections here, off the mirror and her knife. She doesn't look directly at James until near the end. The mirror scene breaks down the idea that these two can bond over something common. Instead of fellow survivors, they are separated by reflections and misunderstandings. When James offers advice, thinking Angela is going to do something bad, she mocks him. And then he rejects the idea that they share anything in common.
We're all the same.
I'm not like you.
Angela apologizes and asks if James found who he's looking for. When he shows her a photo of Mary, she instantly looks away, seeming bored. In all of her scenes, Angela is shifting between different headspaces, her apathy, her trauma, and the moments of awareness about James's trauma. They both offer these weak gestures of help, only to reject one another.
Should I go with you? This town really is dangerous. Now I know what you meant back there in the cemetery.
No, it's okay. Besides, I'd just slow you down.
What about that?
Will you hold it for me?
Sure. No problem.
If I kept it, I'm not sure what I might do.
James offers to take her knife at her own insistence, and Angela freaks out. I think the knife gives her a sense of power. We later find out she likely used the same knife to defend herself against her abusive father, and yet because she did so, the knife also relates to her guilt and shame. By giving James the knife, she is trying to disconnect from what she did. Angela's most negative emotions are directed inwards, but she expresses them openly. There's an honesty to her that James lacks, much the same as with Eddie. James at this early stage in the game is so separated from his emotions that he appears almost calm, and this contrast between the two shapes the rest of their interactions. Then there's Maria. How James treats Maria is in direct contrast to Angela. Maria is, of course, not a real person, but she behaves as one throughout the game and is seen as such. James treats her with suspicion, openly off-put, disturbed that this woman looks so much like his dead wife. Compared to Angela, Maria seems to unsettle James on a far deeper level. Both women share scenes with James where we see a boundary between them, the mirror scene and the prison scene. In the mirror scene, Angela's disconnect from James is obvious. She doesn't even look at him. In the prison scene, Maria doesn't stop looking. Maria clings to James at any chance she can, trying to get closer to him. She even shouts at him for not caring for her.
Anyway, I'm glad you're alive.
Anyway? What do you mean, anyway? I was almost killed back there. You couldn't care less about me, could you?
No, I just...
Then stay with me. Don't leave me alone again. You're supposed to take care of me.
His lack of care towards Maria shows just how performative James's care really is, and Angela helps reveal this. She is the polar opposite, always finding a reason to get away. For Angela, leaving Silent Hill won't help, because she feels so trapped by her pain. But on the other hand, her disconnect from James also reflects a deeper truth about James's own feelings. In her final scene, Angela mocks the idea of James's care.
I'm not worth it. Or maybe you think you can save me? Will you love me? Care for me? Heal all my pain? That's what I thought.
It's as if she sees his help as a performance, a fake gesture of goodwill. While it's true that Angela is reacting to her own trauma when she lashes out, it's also true that she's digging under James's skin. Much of their relationship is a reflection on how James feels about Mary. A huge part of the game is him coming to terms with both his love and his hatred of his wife, his disgust and his declining goodwill as Mary's disease progressed and she became cruel, almost monstrous in his mind.
I know. I've done a terrible thing to you. I don't know if you hate me or pity me. Maybe I just disgust you.
And so Angela becomes a female figure representing this conflict in James. Much like Mary, Angela lashes out at James when he's trying to help her. This is something we find out Mary was also likely doing near the end of her life. This helplessness James feels towards Angela and her rejections would have been painfully familiar to him. But more than that, there's an even darker layer to the Angela-Mary comparison. Let's talk about that scene. The scene which made clear just how disturbing Angela's backstory really is.
Angela? Angela, it's me.
No. Please. Daddy!
James comes across Angela in a dark room where she appears to be staring at nothing, talking to herself. When it becomes clear she's talking to someone she feels threatened by, James approaches. For a moment, we see how James looks from Angela's perspective. In an uncomfortable moment, he fills the space of her abuser. The imagery very clear. The monster attacks, breaking through Angela's own reality and into James's. What the monster, known as Abstract Daddy, represents is not hard to see, but what I find most disturbing is James's role in this scene. Because James is our main character, and in this moment, he's the hero. He has come to rescue Angela from her evil father. Yet James, as we discover, has done something pretty unforgivable to his own wife. If we think about the monster's design again, a male figure leaning over a female victim, well, it's not that different to the imagery of James leaning over Mary in his own act of intimate violence. I'm not saying the violence is the same thing. They are very different, but both are still extreme acts of violence towards a female character. The dark irony is there. The man who came to save Angela is also the man who ended the life of another woman he was supposed to protect, much like how Angela's father was supposed to protect her. And so what we have is a scene that compares two violent male figures, James and Angela's father. James doesn't want to be seen as a monster by Angela, but it's hard to deny he doesn't fit the role given what he did. While the ending of Mary's life may have had, in his mind, more understanding intentions compared to Angela's father, ultimately the violence looks the same. And so both Angela and James are separated by the trauma of male violence. Angela has been on the receiving end of it, and James has been the perpetrator of it. Despite defeating the manifestation of Angela's nightmares, it doesn't change her fate. This isn't a tale of rescuing the damsel in distress by killing the monster. Angela's wounds are too deep for that to mean anything. The fact that killing her monster father doesn't resolve her suffering really adds a stronger dimension to her story. After the monster is killed, they talk about Mary. Angela implies James may have cheated, to which he shows real anger for the first time.
No.
You probably found someone else.
No!
Finally, a crack in his facade. But after, his tone changes when she leaves. James seems unsure. The idea that he did something bad towards his wife Mary seems almost impossible, but the doubt creeps in.
You're Mary. Your own little Mary.
What I also find really interesting about this line is that it shows Angela knows more about Mary than she lets on. And this makes sense. Just like James is able to see Abstract Daddy, Angela seems to have some insight into James's trauma. I think that Silent Hill acts as this space where people's realities can mix.
It's hot as hell in here.
You see it too? For me, it's always like this.
The realities of those who are tormented, those most drawn to Silent Hill, become messy and convoluted, blurring between each other. And each person is too stuck in their own nightmare to be able to fully empathise with anyone else. While these two cross paths, they are ultimately unable to help each other, their traumas leaving them detached. And crucially, I think what James represents hits too close to home for Angela. At the end, Angela asks James for her knife back, the one she didn't trust herself with, the very weapon she used to stop her father's violence. Unlike James, who's still fighting his trauma, Angela has been figuratively and literally consumed by it. She's given up. Taking the knife back is her accepting her worst feelings. But James refuses her.
No, I won't.
Saving it for yourself. Have it your way. It doesn't change anything.
Given their realities mix, I think Angela knows by the end why James is in Silent Hill, which is also why she suggests he's saving it for himself. Angela as a figure is tragic, not just in her own right, but with what she embodies for James. In her, he feels the helpless need to protect a female victim, but also a reminder of his own personal violence. They can never truly understand one another because they are bound by the same violence from opposite ends. And that to me develops the story into something more complicated and interesting, as it confronts us with real-world violence, not just in the side characters, but in our protagonist, revealing uncomfortable truths, not just about victims, but the people we are supposed to trust. That's my take on Angela and her story. If you like psychological horror, then you might enjoy my next video, which should cover The Amazing Digital Circus and its latest episode. But if you have any ideas or games you'd like to see discussed, please let me know. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.